He was 98 pounds of solid nerd until he became the Toxic Avenger, the first superhero from New Jersey. And with this film, it is about a gang of thugs who devise a cruel joke that goes horribly wrong. As Melvin, this nerdy, emaciated janitor from this health club, falls from a window of this 3-story building onto toxic waste, and he ends up becoming the Toxic Avenger. And yeah, this was definitely something else. I've heard that this is a cult classic, which I can kind of understand why. Like, the first part of this movie, with how Melvin is, with how the thugs are, and the things that happen, yeah, that is when it was like, what the hell am I watching? Because it just features a lot of horrendous stuff, a lot of offensive stuff. But as it continued on, as we see Melvin become the Toxic Avenger, that's when it starts to kind of get good, because we see him stopping evil, and that is when it becomes entertaining. But with how Melvin was when he was Melvin, super cringe. And really, the characters in this are mostly unlikable, except for the Toxic Avenger and his blind girlfriend. They were pretty much the only likable characters for the most part. But seeing him as the Toxic Avenger stopping evil, I got to admit, that part was entertaining to watch. As with this film, it is over the top. It is super offensive at times. Mostly in the beginning, to be honest. So seeing him go after these offensive people, that was kind of the best part. As with this film, I do want to say that like the prosthetics and like how they did a lot of this stuff was pretty impressive. Film students, take note if you're wanting to do something gross like this. As with this film, it could get brutal at times. As with this, it is a comedy, sci-fi, action with its horror vibes, and it worked in a way. Like with the Toxic Avenger, it kind of works. It is like campy fun. It feels like a spoof that has its dumb fun moments. But at the same time, with this film, it is not one that I really recommend to people due to how offensive it can be. Especially with that beginning part before Melvin becomes the Toxic Avenger. But if you do end up watching this, good luck. Overall, with this film, I can understand why it has its cult following, because it does have its dumb fun moments later on in the film. But like I mentioned, it is not one that I feel like I could recommend to people. If you watch it though, hey, good luck. But have you seen it? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below and follow me for more.